Thank you all for coming. Okay. The December 2nd meeting of 2015 come to order. Establish a quorum, please.
Feels like next year. No, it's okay. They just make comments. You said 2015 or 2014. You were thinking about next year already. I mean, we're done.
Oh, 2014 for the record. Sorry.
Goddard?
Here.
Left? Here. Wyatt?
Here.
Olson?
Here.
Matheson?
Here.
Gambino?
Here.
Gary?
2014.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, approve the minutes, please.
I move that we approve the minutes of November 18th, 2014's regular meeting. Second.
You call, please.
Goddard?
Yes.
Left?
Yes.
Wyatt?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Matheson?
Yes.
Gambino?
Abstain.
And on to accounts payable.
I move that we approve accounts payable as presented.
Second.
Made and seconded. Call, please.
Left?
Yes.
Wyatt?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Matheson?
Yes.
Gambino?
Yes.
Goddard?
Yes.
What do we have for special orders? Thank you. We have reports of officers, boards, for standing committees. Did you have something?
Nothing.
Did you have something this evening?
No.
Okay. Anybody else? On to public comments. Who'd like to be first?
It's gonna be a quick meeting.
Pardon me?
It's gonna be a fast meeting.
That where we come in?
No, not yet.
No. Yeah.
Okay. And what do we have in unfinished business, Bree?
We don't have any unfinished business.
Holy cow, we'll be out of here at quarter after.
All right, let's go.
All right, on to new business. Would you like to do this one, Zeke?
Sure. I'll start this first one. The first one is item A. It's city superintendent performance bonus. When Brady was hired, Brady came up through the ranks, worked his way up. He became city superintendent, well, it was last year, correct?
Yes.
Last year. And we had a committee and we talked to Brady about it. And we had suggested at the time that perhaps Brady might consider taking a starting salary slightly less than the last superintendent, and through performance bonuses that we would reward him for that performance. And something happened this year. It saved the city considerable funds. It has to do with the fish plant and how Brady went about organizing how the fish plant and its tasks that needed to be accomplished were done. And what Brady did is expeditiously used contractors, his own city staff, city supplies in some cases, and just a lot of creativity. And he saved the city a substantial amount of money. And there are some items that we opted not to do, so we're not going to include that in a final calculation of the costs. But from what we can tell, the office staff has put together all the soft costs, including payroll and taxes and all the impounds that go along with that. And after everything is said and done, Brady saved the city $6,000 and got that plant open on time. Congratulations, Brady.
Yeah.
And back in the event of where we had said that we would performance for good bonus, I would suggest an amount on this particular project of 30% of the savings, which comes to about $1,800 or $1,900 when you do the tape. So I'd like to make a motion I'd like to make a motion that we bonus Mr. Widener 30% of the savings on the fish plant.
Second.
You wouldn't consider making it even $2,000?
Well, I suppose we could do, actually, I suppose we could do that, but I don't have an
It'd be
issue
a
with
lot
that.
simpler than,
What is the only reason I suggested a percentage is down the road, a percentage is a fairly easy way to award somebody a compensation bonus. But I would rescind that motion in favor of Barb's suggestion that it's $2,000. You have a problem with that?
No, seconded as amended.
Any more discussion? Call please.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Mafla,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Left.
yes,
Thank you, Brady.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you so
continue to keep working forward and try to be frugal as much as I can and with what we have.
Right on, man, you did a great job.
Yep, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I guess we could skip the employee safety bonus. Maybe we can. Can't do that.
We're gonna get some public comment.
A little jock already here. All right, on item B, the 2014-15 employee safety bonus.
Yeah, we were, again, the crew is working really safe, the staff is very safe also, and we try to work, we actually won this award, it's a gold safety award, do the injury frequency of 0 for 13-14, and we got 12 full-time employees. Got the gold safety award. I think it's great. It's from the League of Oregon Cities, and this is great. I mean, we've got the official stamp and everything. So this is really
Zero. That's
really
impressive.
special for that many employees and public works and stuff we do and sewer and trenches and heavy equipment and stuff, and then in the office, there's all kinds of stuff that we could really, work on still, but we're moving forward. We do safety movies once a month, and we have a safety committee, and we inspect the building, so we're really thorough, and we're getting rewarded for it, so I think it's great.
You just brought up a point. Do we need to appoint somebody new to sit on that safety committee?
Yes.
We
yes.
do. Maybe we wait till the new crowd comes in.
Okay.
Unless
Absolutely, I'll put that on.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we authorize staff to disperse the 2014-15 safety bonus in the amount of $6,493.80.
Second that?
Call please.
Olson,
Yes.
Mafla,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Left,
Yes,
Wyatt,
Yes.
Item C, authorize staff to prepare request for proposals, municipality accounting software.
We are requesting your authorization to put out a request for proposals. And what we're looking at is software that includes utility billing and payroll and accounts payable and business licenses and general ledger. It would be a complete package. We've done a little investigation. I say we because it's Emma with the mouse in her pocket. As far as companies that would be good to look at, to send a request to, but we need your authorization to do that. So that's what we're asking for tonight.
I would just say,
moved.
yay, it should have
right.
happened years ago. I'm really delighted that you're doing it.
Yeah, and we can move forward with, like, when we talk about metering, and it covers so much stuff, and
It's in the budget also, is it
going
not?
from the Flintstones to the Jetsons.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, at least we think it's in the budget. We haven't heard the bad number yet, but yeah, it's not gonna be small.
We have money in the budget for this fiscal year, but yeah, we haven't sought proposals yet.
And the software, it's gonna be the software, you're gonna look at the grand package, but there's also gonna be plugins that you can purchase at a later date if you discover. Can you look into that?
I think there, yes, I want to use the term modules. Is that
Modules,
correct?
okay.
Where, yeah, and it's quite a shopping list, and there's a lot of modules that today we have no need for, but perhaps in the future, so. Okay, so we can, it's okay to do that. We'll proceed. Excellent, thank you.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I second that, so moved.
Call, please.
Mapula,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Lev,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Thank you.
On to the canvass of votes, November 6th, 2014 election.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the canvass of votes from the November 4th, 2014 election as handed to us by the county clerk.
Second.
I have a question about this. I never saw this term. I know what an undervote is. What is an overvote on this party?
Somebody votes twice,
Oh, okay.
yeah, which becomes a non-vote because
What do you mean?
the person counting the ballot can't, if you vote yes and no on a major, you fill in both, well, the person counting the ballot can't pick which one, so that's.
All right.
And undervotes?
Undervotes is when somebody chooses not to vote.
So they sent in a ballot, but did not.
Vote for that particular
that
item or
particular
person or whatever it might
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
Let me call the roll.
You can't do that.
AJ,
Yes.
do you want me to call the roll on the motion?
Yeah, I was just looking for a note here, but yes, please do. Call.
Okay. Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Lev,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Mapula.
Yes. All right, moving on to item E. We're looking to cancel because of the holidays. December 16th, 2014 City Council regular meeting and pre-approve accounts payable. Have a motion on that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call, please.
Goddard,
Yes.
Lev,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Mapula,
Yes.
Gambino.
Yes.
Item F. On building permit number 2012-79420, 125 Southeast Main Street.
We have some folks in the audience, if you want to come up, Mr. Schmidt.
Can we approach?
Absolutely. Just come on up
State
and
your-
state your name and your address.
Harry and Colleen Schmidt, 125 Bay Street.
Bring a chair up, you know.
Here, grab a chair, Harry. There you go.
Now, yeah, forgive me, I didn't want to speak much, but I would really love to address this. First of all, prematurely address it, I don't know why the issue's on the format. What the intention is.
Just to, talk about the issues there and some of the prolonged timing and some of the reasons for the install and
Okay,
a lot of the issues were questions need to be asked and answered, so
perfect,
it's kind of a good time for you to actually talk to the council and
perfect.
let
I
everybody
appreciate
know your concern.
Yes. So, my wife and I came to Depoe Bay 35 years ago and considered it, just a great destination. We actually live in Damascus, Oregon. And then for the last 20 20-some years, we've been acquiring properties in Depoe Bay, starting at North Point, moving on to Clark Street, moving on to Bay Street, and most recently on Williams Avenue. And with the full intent to make this our home and retire here. So with that, as crazy as it sounds, I'm kind of a nut in regards to buying old dogs and refurbishing them. And at the first one that we did up at North Point, what was Chuck's old property, there's a complex up there, the old fire chief here, Chuck, I forget his last name. Chuck and Carolyn. So we developed that, and I just couldn't bring it to heart to sell it, so we kept it and rented it out to local folks here in Depoe Bay. We keep our rates reasonable. You know, needless to say, we've run into many problems with our rentals and always work it out with the tenants. You know, Depoe Bay's a unique place, it's a great place. But our place is always renovated, clean, and gorgeous. So then we moved to Clark Street, built that 25 Clark, it's a white house with the 3 little colored hotels back there, vacation rentals, which we have a total of 5 vacation rentals in the city of Depoe Bay, which everybody knows we pay 8% tax on. And don't take this wrong, again, I'm sick and not thinking clearly, but I want everybody to appreciate our impact in Depoe Bay. We love it. We recently bought 47 Williams, which was a dog in this neighborhood forever. I was walking home from Clark Street doing some repairs, saw the for sale sign and bought it. And we're doing quite a renovation on that, and we'll have that rentals as well for the city of Depoe Bay. Here lies the big mistake. So when we purchased Bay Street, and everybody knows the Bay Street house, the big white house with the parking lot next to it, it was a wreck. So we bought it, purchased it, and started our renovations. And we removed hundreds of foot of decking off that building, 2nd level, 1st level, and then when it came time,
Around the house.
yeah, it was ugly. You guys know it. So when I designed this deck and started building it out in the middle of everybody with no intent of trying to hide or do anything. I thought at that point, as long as I replaced the deck, I'm replacing the deck. I made it come out too far. I'm encroaching property lines, and only due to the fact that when I purchased the property, the realtor explained where the boundaries were. And forgive me, you know, we all learn lessons as we go through life, that it was incorrect. The wall, we were told, was our property line. Therefore, the first thing we did, that property line, which happens to be the city's property, that wall.
There's
go around
just a short lip down to the street, and the first thing I wanted to do for safety purpose is put a fence up, because it scared me to death walking up to that edge and thinking there was never a fence there
Well,
all these years.
with renters in 2 apartments below, we were worried.
There had been.
There's
yeah.
a liability there, not realizing that was actually the city's liability. So we rectified that, spent, you know, whatever money it was in time to build that fence. Deck went up, deck is encroaching city property. It's been up for 2 years. You know, we've celebrated some events on there, and most importantly, Memorial Day. We're involved with Memorial Day with Debbie and Fleet of Flowers. You know, we're involved with the Chamber of Commerce. We're involved with several different things in the city. And we are here to be productive, decent citizens of Depoe Bay. So I don't know how else to say it, but we are asking for some kind of, I don't know what you would call it, a pardon or permission, or work out some kind of a deal with the city to maintain and leave that deck. You know, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it's gonna come down. I just, what else do you have, darling?
I just had about the flood, but I don't think it's.
Yeah, you know, we've suffered some losses here in Depoe Bay with no repercussions to the city. Brady knows there was a plugged up sewer or water drainage line on the street adjacent. What's this street?
It's Cook Street.
Cook Street,
Yeah.
which backed up and took out one of our newly renovated apartments to a tune of about $30,000 loss on our behalf.
We had to gut the whole apartment, and
Yeah,
it's just.
we relocated the tenants and, you know, come after city, no. You know, it happened. It happened, we absorbed it. So we're not, you know, we're not here begging, we're not here looking for special favors. We're looking to be, again, part of the community and negotiate something out. And again, if you feel it in your hearts and it works, great. If not, let us know. So, you know, I don't think it's gonna be
If there's
rectified.
any options for
Yeah,
us.
and don't know if or how it can be rectified now, but ponder it and however the committee here works, the council, you know, you guys work your magic. Any questions
Yeah.
regarding this issue?
I do have one.
Please.
Mr. Schmidt, is there the option where you can trim the deck back so it doesn't encroach over the right of way?
There is. The sorry part,
That
well,
corner.
you know, I can move it back, yes. The terrible part is, when I construct stuff, it's done well. And I spent $1,580 on the stainless steel cable, which was a one-time use. So, yes, I can cut that all back, buy new cable fasteners and redo that. Yes. And I'm supposed to cut it back 8 foot, which is half of what it is. You know, anything can be done, yes. I could remove the entire deck, I could trim it back, yes.
The planning commission is represented, I'd kind of like to hear what they have to say.
Too.
Sure.
I guess we could use that speaker right there, can't we?
Okay,
Where you guys can.
I can tell you what happened on the planning commission and give you some timeline. The deck was constructed in early 2012. I believe, as I understand, a complaint was received to the city about the size of the deck and the closeness to the street. At that point, I believe you applied for a building permit. It was
Yes.
turned down because it hadn't gone through the city. He was told at that time that it is too big. He applied for a variance in February of this year, 2 years later. The deck legally is supposed to be, by today's standards, between 6 and 7 feet, if I remember. We said 8 foot because the existing deck was 8 foot and was grandfathered in. So we went ahead and said, hey, we can give you that, although if you really tear a deck down, you're supposed to meet the new code. So we said 8 foot. It's on city land. If you look at our zoning ordinance, we really had no choice. It's very blatant at this point.
And I just want to understand, you said that they started building this without a building permit?
Yes. Again, I removed all the existing decks and just re-erected decks. You know, ignorance upon the fact that I'm thinking, you
With
know,
all the property you own and the building you've done on the
Honestly,
coast, you didn't think you needed a building permit?
well, in regards to removal and replace, honestly, I didn't think it was, and again, I wasn't hiding it, and again, you'll learn every day. Williams House has permits on it.
Okay,
So
Okay,
now I
but-
make phone calls before I do anything.
right, but you were also told 2 years ago that it was out.
No, the deck was up for a year, then we received a letter, we have the letters, it was up for 12
But that
months.
was 2 years from now, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, so
Yeah.
wait, no, go back 12 months. The deck was up and done for a year before we received any information, and it was via some contractor that was mad that I did it myself. So then is when all of this started happening. That's when I met with Larry Lewis, great guy, and guided me, told me what to do. You know, get the building permit, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Educate.
He understood well that he had 120 days after our decision to appeal it to you.
And that was a year ago,
That was in February.
that was in February.
In between that time, I had met with Larry and Brady, and then the last member was the mayor, and I had explained some of these issues. And the last thing I was told was, hold on then, let's see what we can work out.
Excuse me.
But
So-
you did not apply for variance within the 120 days.
I-
You did not.
He applied for
Yes.
variance, he did not apply, he
I
did
paid-
not appeal.
He did not
I
appeal.
did not
I'm sorry,
appeal.
he did not appeal. Okay.
And during that appeal time, after we had the meeting with,
I understand what you're saying.
okay,
Okay, I understood you, I just wanted to make sure, because we're not talking about, this is 10 days after the 120 days, this is more like 5 months after the 120 days.
and it's not like,
But we're not here,
and I didn't ignore anything, I addressed every letter, every issue, every phone call that I received.
Okay, fine, thank you.
No matter how it comes down, Mr. Schmidt, we have to stick by our planning commission and the decision that they came up with. Maybe there was some misunderstanding or whatever. Personally, I can't go against our planning commission, and by your own admission, you did what you thought you were supposed to do. Apparently it wasn't enough, so do you have any more on that, Roy, that we can clarify that a little further?
Not really, the bottom, you have a choice, as Larry said in his memo. You can see what happens in the next, before the next meeting. I understand you're meeting with Brady and Larry, you're pretty soon.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
Oh, right.
So you could go ahead and see what they come up with. You know, as far as the planning commission's concerned, it came, we voted on it, it was unanimous at the time, and it's a done deal.
It wasn't unanimous.
I don't, who voted
We
yes?
had one yes vote from, Harbor Lights,
Okay.
and then we have, a gentleman that wasn't really allowed to vote, Mike, what's his name?
Michael.
Michael, he was a resident of Depoe Bay, so he had no right to vote,
He was on the planning commission,
He
was authorized,
wasn't
he
a-
did vote.
but he wasn't a legal person to vote because he's not a resident of Depoe Bay.
You don't have to be a resident, all you have to be is
That's
a
what-
property owner.
Okay.
Two people on the planning commission
I think we're done.
who are not resident, authorized not to be residents but property owners. The same case you could say is with Betty,
Yes.
they are property owners.
Well, I kind of like hearing that Brady and Larry Lewis are gonna talk to you and see if they can come up with a creative solution. My suggestion is we wait for that meeting, push it till January. Sorry to ask you to come back, but
No, that's
I want
fine.
to give it every chance it can before we say you have to take it down or whatever, so. Now, look, Brady.
One thing I would like to add is, and this is something that everybody knows, I'm always worried about, and that is setting up precedents,
Yes, I understand.
past practice. So if you do it for one, and they say, well, you did it for him, how about me?
That's the tough part,
I
I
always
understand.
worry about it.
Right.
And that was a big point in the planning commission's voting, was then we'd have every contractor here coming in and saying, it's not like we could, in fact, we thought, what could we come up with? There was a unique situation, but wasn't anything that was unique about the installation.
Good luck on a creative solution.
There isn't going to be one, I can already tell. So we'll just call it good, I'll start removal tomorrow, and they'll all be happy, we'll make the city of Depoe Bay very happy.
Well,
You
There's
don't
not
wanna
gonna
meet
be,
with
there
Brady?
won't be
You don't wanna meet with these guys? I
oh,
mean,
I guess I'm.
Brady is,
Yes.
you know, these guys are not out to get you.
Oh, I know.
No, no, no.
I know, I'm hoping you get that. They're
No,
just
they're-
looking for
no,
a creative solution.
We have a lot of people on our side in Depoe Bay, and then we have those that are against us, for whatever reason.
So we'll.
I'd really like to hear what Brady and Larry and you guys come up with before.
That would be a good suggestion.
I think it really is the best suggestion.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Hunt for 2
Thank you.
3
We'll see
weeks.
you tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, you bet.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's see here. We're on to the PUD ordinance. On item G, ordinance 301, terms, conditions of this franchise, providing the effective date, replacing ordinance number 205, and declaring an emergency.
Quickly, I'll review the ordinance adoption process. First thing I always ask the council before we get into the first and second readings is if the council wants to have a motion to read the ordinance by title only. Other than that, we'll read the ordinance in its entirety at both readings. I would note that this proposed ordinance 301 is a renewal to the Central Lincoln PUD franchise for electrical service in the city. The one probably biggest item that's going to be of interest to the electrical customers in the city is the franchise fee will increase from 3.5% to 5% per this ordinance. This ordinance is quite a bit longer than ordinance 205 that it replaces, but it addresses a lot of issues that the 20-year-old ordinance did. Things like undergrounding utilities, notification to property owners in the city when PUD comes through and trims trees and limbs, etc. And so that's why it's quite a bit longer. The other thing is, this ordinance does include a percentage late fee penalty for PUD should they make their monthly payment late. Anyway, so before we start, like I say, if the council would consider a motion to read by title only at both readings.
I move that we, accept reading this ordinance number 301 by title only.
Second.
Any other discussion on that? Call, please.
Okay, Lev,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Mackler,
Yes.
Ambino,
Yes.
Goddard.
Yes.
Okay, so at the first reading, proposed ordinance number 301, an ordinance granting to Central Lincoln PUD grantee an exclusive franchise for 10 years to erect, construct, maintain, repair, update, and operate an electric light and power system within the city of Depoe Bay, setting the terms and conditions of this franchise, providing an effective date, repealing ordinance number 205, which was the previous franchise agreement, and declaring an emergency. So at this first reading, are there any questions or comments from anyone in the audience? So, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Need to come up and state your name, Mr. Schmidt, honestly.
Gary Schmidt, basically, question regarding this, this, I have no knowledge of this. So what is wrong with the existing system and the way it functions? Why would there be an additional, I'm gonna guess transform station, something's based here at Depoe Bay?
Oh, this franchise, Central Lincoln PUD is
Oh,
the
just
electricity
the-
provider. So that's what
An
it is, yeah.
office?
Well,
No.
No, it's their franchise agreement.
They're,
It's their contract to operate.
they're buying the
Yeah.
easement on the
Thanks.
utilities.
yeah, and in
Okay.
addition to that, the city has jurisdiction over the street right of way. And so they have all their stuff in our right of way, so that's a piece of this franchise agreement and gives them authority to use city right of way.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Or anything from the council, before a motion to adopt it first reading?
We're good. You did a good job.
I read it, looks good.
So a motion to adopt at the first reading, and then we'll vote on that.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt ordinance 301 at the first reading.
Second.
Call, please.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Madela,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Lev.
Yes.
Okay, so it's adopted at the first reading. The vote passed unanimously, so if the council wants to proceed with the second reading tonight, you can. Other than that, the second reading will automatically go to the next regular meeting.
Let's do
Okay? Proceed with the second reading. Okay, second reading, proposed ordinance number 301. An ordinance granting to Central Lincoln PUD, the grantee, an exclusive franchise for 10 years to erect, construct, maintain, repair, update, and operate an electric light and power system within the city of Depoe Bay, setting the terms and conditions of this franchise, providing an effective date, repealing ordinance number 205, and declaring an emergency. And at the second reading, any questions or comments? Doesn't appear to be any. So if the council wants to move to adopt at the second reading.
So moved.
Second,
Call please.
Olson,
Yes.
Mackla,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Goddard,
Yes.
Left,
yes,
Wyatt.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Good. What do you have in correspondence, Barry?
2 items of correspondence this evening. One is an email from Kate Groth, Army Corps of Engineers, and this is an email in response to our inquiry relating to, let's see. I'm gonna read my email I sent her. At the October 29th regular meeting of the Harbor Commission, the commissioners voiced their concerns regarding the need of repair to the tide gate, the cracked concrete, and the sinking of the parking lot at the south end of the wall. The commission's concerns were discussed at the November 4th regular city council meeting. Council requests a report on the status of the wall and is also interested in what remedies the Corps has in mind. So her email is her response to that, and I hope you've all had a chance to read it.
I read it. I have one really big issue. And that's about, number 3, the parking lot settlement, where she says, while settlement measurements have not been collected, visual monitoring indicates that settlement, et cetera, has been limited since the sheer pile wall construction. Now, we know from other, from people who have come to us, that they're seeing at least a 3-inch drop since 2006. That to me is more than a little bit, and I don't think this is a sufficient answer for that. It may or may not be for 1 and 2, but it's certainly not for 3.
Yes, I think if you read further on that, she states that if there's any questions beyond what she said, that she can go to other people and have that question answered.
Well, I would urge the council to ask her to do that.
Or ask her to set up a study to study the measurement of the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah, apparently, this is just speculation, but she mentioned the fact that there were monitors in that repair that was done in 2006, I believe, that were planted in below the parking lot surface. And there's either something wrong with those, or maybe they don't consider 3 inches much, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, they put in 60-foot monitors that go down 60 feet
Yeah.
when they do all that work, and they come and they read them once or twice a year. But I think that's for wall retention rather than whether the parking lot is dropping.
Yeah. That's for the whole
Yeah.
hillside of it.
Yeah,
But we still think that the wall is moving out in
Yeah.
the bay with the tide going in and out,
yeah.
that the whole partition is moving out. And maybe some more research and engineering on stabilizing that last 4 ends of the seawall.
I think at a minimum, have they come out to look in response to our email? Probably not, have they?
Not yet.
Sounds to me that they need to come out and they need to take a look at this, and we need to somehow identify or quantify what Barbara's just talking about.
I've been around these type of problems in the past, and I feel the same as Brady does. I think the whole thing is moving out, and the only way that I know of to correct that problem, and I'm certain I'd be backed up by the engineers, that sheet pile on the ocean side of the seawall is ultimately what's going to happen to stabilize that. You know what a sheet pile is? Anybody know what a sheet pile? Well, it's piling that's driven alongside one another and connects. And when all this is driven down, then it creates a brand new wall. And the key to the whole thing is when this pile was driven is far enough into the hard pan that, the bottom of it can't move, therefore it locks everything,
Right.
so.
And our world's
So I,
smallest, excuse me,
let's, get back to Kate Growth and,
yeah.
inform her what our desires are.
As she offered, any additional questions or concerns, to let her know, so.
I would say that it's making our world's smallest harbor smaller.
I guess that isn't funny, but it's true. No doubt about it.
Oh, the only other item of correspondence I have this evening is an email from Kim Herring at the county. And you know, we recently submitted a grant application for redoing the electrical shed in the harbor. And because we have an outstanding grant, which is the grant they funded us for our harbor master plan study, they're not accepting our application this year. They will, once we finish the harbor master plan study and expend those funds, then we can apply. And this is a real grant, so.
We may, because I had the crew expose the electric shed and really kind of bring it out to the open, to be prepared for possibly getting this grant, that we may move forward with just putting new siding on that for now, because it's rotting and it's really exposed, and I think we need to just do that, just bite the bullet and get that done, and then we can look at it later on and do some of the internal repairs that we need. But right now, we could put a coating on the roof and put new siding on and some trim and maybe a new door and try to keep the price down, have the crew do it. I think we should probably go that route.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, in correspondence also, I don't know if everybody has this thing from, Diana Elroy.
I believe only you.
Only I have it. All right, well, what it concerns is, her mother just passed this last month, I believe it was. And, she wants to live on that property, and, so there's some question as to the zoning ordinances on
What
this.
property are we talking about?
Dolores,
It's at the end of Indian Trail,
Yeah.
east side,
On the east
down here.
Right here behind the gas station?
Yeah,
No.
clear down to
no,
the
it's
end.
Clear down to
down
the
to the end. Dolores Kozak, you know her, everybody knows her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that property, and, there seems to be some problem with the, zoning ordinance, in relationship to, Lincoln County permits. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, we haven't heard a thing about that. It hasn't come
Okay,
before us.
well, she gave me some, pertinent information that goes back to 1976, when those dwellings were first put in there. And I was informed that all the permits that were taken out, including the payment for the sewage on the units that are on that property. So Larry will be here tomorrow, and I'd like for Brady and Larry to go over this, and I'll be present if they like, and we'll, and could I impose on you to look at that with us?
Can't do it tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll keep you informed on that then,
Not yet.
because I think she's within her rights. I mean, it's 38 years have gone by since this was put in, and now there's some problem that, you know, it just doesn't strike a bell. And this copy of this receipt goes back to June 8th of 1976, so.
On the surface, it sounds like it'd be grandfathered in, well grandfathered in, but who knows?
Yeah, that was my take. But there was something that came up, something about non-conforming, but, you know, this almost 40 years ago, so I'm wondering, what in the world could that be? All right, what time would you like to meet with Larry tomorrow?
We have meetings at, it'd probably be late in the afternoon, because we have meetings in the morning, just like 9 and then 11 with, we have to meet with the emergency.
Would you like to call me in the sometime in the morning and let me know?
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
try to squeeze in a time frame where we can meet, yeah. We'll find something, absolutely.
Yeah,
But maybe after lunch,
all right.
like probably 1 to 2 or something like that.
And I'll be at Council of Governments on Thursday, so I won't be available.
Okay. All right.
Okay, city staff report.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, we had, a pretty significant, problem through the holidays on Derrick Street. Derrick Street is off Collins and Davenport. We had our sewer main clogged, and it's one of the main feeder sewer that, clogged at a manhole and backed up, so the line completely came to the halt with material and backed up a resident's lateral right into their home and into their toilet, and it's pretty significant. I have some photos I didn't share. It's kind of graphic, but it's I don't know if you guys can see, but that's their toilet, and then it went through their bathtub. It went out their bathroom door, and fortunately, it kicked some of itself loose in the pressure in the manhole and just kind of left it at that point, and a lot of cleanup, a lot of hazardous waste that these folks cleaned up. So what I was looking to do was they have some receipts here, and I'm trying to maybe avoid a claim by working with the landlord. There's some problems. I've been doing a whole lot of study with the lateral, and I've documented films with our camera. We have a sewer camera, and I'm finding that at the time that the sewer was put in, this was quite a few years ago, that the lateral was installed flat and not really up high with not a lot of fall, and maybe because there's rock in there or something, I don't know the reasons behind it. But I'm working with the landlord. The city crew is going to relocate the lateral to the manhole. It's in the public right-of-way, so it's not on private property, but we're going to move it into the manhole where it can't bypass into their house anymore. And so we're going to take care of that point. The landlord, since the tenants did a wonderful job cleaning up, and so that issue was on the 21st, and here's what the kicker is. Thanksgiving morning, we got another call, and we thought what we would do to get through the holidays, because we weren't sure, we didn't have the camera, it was late on the 21st through the weekend, that we could get through, and unfortunately it backed up again, but we had sense enough to undo the clean out, and it didn't go in the home this time, it went all up in their yard, and it continued to bypass, and it continued to bypass through their yard. And the entire flow from above the water plant, which is view of the bay, all of King Street, that section of Collins and all of Davenport, all the sewer usage that were going right through their yard. And so we were called in, and the crew came in and got we got the line unclogged, fortunately, with just pure luck and willpower and knowledge that we figured out how to get the clog out. We freed it up, figured out where the main clog was, got that material out, got the sewer moving, everything is fine and clean now, but we're at the point where I'm gonna move the lateral first thing in the morning and plug it into the manhole where it can't back up from the main sewer line. It's not real deep, but it's something that I've kind of talked to the landlord about, so this doesn't happen to these tenants again. And so I'm hoping to authorize the council to approve the receipt for they have 3 bath rugs from Walmart, total of $36.91. And then for cleaning all this hazardous fecal material, they have a total of 9 hours. One of one of the gentlemen is disabled, and it shows him in here cleaning on his hands and knees, and it's really unfortunate, but stuff like this happens, and I think they agreed with $400 for cleaning, and a total of their 9 hours of washing, cleaning, and sanitizing. And
Price to pay.
Yes, it
Pretty
is.
reasonable, pretty
so,
reasonable.
if the council approves $400, a total of $436.91, that includes their Walmart bill. So,
We have a motion on that, please.
So moved.
And seconded.
Call, please.
Natalie?
Yes.
Gambino?
Yes.
Goddard?
Yes.
Left?
Yes.
Wyatt?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
so sometimes these things occur, but if we do it and, band together and we just take care of things as we go, it can't grow into a big problem.
Is there a yard? You said,
It's been cleaned up, our crew cleaned all their yard, took down line, did everything to abide by DEQ's protocol for cleanup. We abide by everything, they're all certified in collections, our crew, so they, under my guidance and stuff, so we make sure everything's cleaned up, and we're still working on it. We're gonna be there at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with contractor, Danny Christ Construction. He's working with Eric and Jason, our temporary guy, and he's also worked in stuff like this before. He has all the shots and stuff, so I think it's a good learning curve for him to, we're not gonna have him do any of that work. We'll have him take a top hole for utilities, but he can watch and get this under his belt too, because I think he might work out long term, so.
Great.
Okay? Thank you very much. And really, the rest of my report is just the crews you see them through town. We're setting up Christmas, Depoe Bay, got 2 trees up. One on the roof of the Whale Watch Center, one in the planter box at Whale Fountain. They've got lights on them. The crew's done a great job. They're getting lights on all the building. We're ready for the Saturday, December 6th lighting ceremony. We'll have them all come on, the timers, when Mayor's gonna be there. And Santa Claus will be there at the Whale Interpretive Center for the lighting ceremony.
We are caroling this year.
That I don't know. You might have to talk to the
4 o'clock,
chamber about that.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock,
We're gonna
the
be-
whale statue. The whale statue with the small tree. We'll start there and then we'll go through the stores
We're
and,
gonna go to all the businesses.
yeah, like we did last year.
Yeah, it was fun last
It was
year,
fun
but it
last
was
year.
cold.
But you're gonna come again this year, right?
What day?
Yeah. But you gotta come down and we'll be there to use your
Saturday.
help.
Saturday.
We're gonna light the tree.
I know.
We'll light the tree at exactly 6:20. Exactly 6:20, because they're gonna meet at 6 o'clock and then sing Here Comes Santa Claus, and then I think I heard that Santa Claus might make an appearance, but the kids are kinda on the fence if they really gonna be
Is
there.
Santa's elf gonna be there this year?
So, anyway, we're looking forward to it. And the crew's done a great job, and the crew and staff and everybody for the holidays, really, it's been real positive this year. So, that's my report.
Thank you. Trey, you have anything else?
The only thing I'd like to report is with that horrible sewage incident on Derrick Street, I was out of town, so I wasn't involved.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving was the sad part, it was so awful. There's little grandkids there, they were ready for Thanksgiving. I mean, I could really get into detail on that, but we did the best we could.
They'll never forget it.
No, that was the one I'll never forget.
Okay, council comments? Nobody? Then, it's 5 minutes to